Just really proud of the effort of our players, and it's difficult to win. San Jose State has done a really good job putting their team together and getting their kids to play hard. Coach Ken does a great job, but I thought our guys started strong today. Really proud of so many of our players, especially of how we played together, offense, defense, and special teams. That was what we've been really pushing for, and a lot of the things that we've been working on really since the end of last season are starting to show up now. And, we took a really hard look at our season last year and what we needed to do and win close games in our conference, and running the football, the play action, the nakeds, controlling the ball was all part of that, and we're starting to see that come together now. And Braden was outstanding for most of the game. I hated the last turnover, but at some point somebody told me he was 16 for 16, and I just thought he was really seeing the field and seeing throws, handling the perimeter throws really well. Putting plays together and stringing plays together. I gave our whole offensive line a game ball. I mean, I can't remember doing that twice in a season in my career, but we had 4 different rushers, all average over 5 yards a carry. That means that your offensive line is blocking people, and our tight ends, Vince Brown and Peter Montini, really did a great job today. Really proud of Dom Morris on defense. He really covered the Nash kid well for several snaps when he was in the slot. Jack Howell played extremely well. Kennedy McDowell did a lot of good things as a pass rusher. So really, really proud of the effort of a lot of those kids. We still had a couple turnovers that we just got to get out of our system. The fumble where we gave them 7 points, that's a 14-point turnaround and really important part of the game. And then the late turnover, when we were trying to run the clock out. Just got to find a way not to do that. But a lot of positive things. We were way better on third down that I see here. And, it's a good win. It's a good conference win. It's a good home win. And, we finished this second quarter out with 2 wins, and so we got to move on to the second half of the season now.
Jake, what stands out to you most about this win? Does it have anything to do with the fact that it wasn't easy? You had some trying times that you had to really kind of fight through and overcome?
Yeah, I think this is probably pretty indicative of all of our conference games, of how they're going to be. We're going to play teams that are very similar, that are knowledgeable about us, that are well coached. You're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to do the right things all the way through the end of the game to win. And that takes toughness and discipline and mental toughness and all the things that we work on all year long. We talk a lot about that. The mentality of our football team has got to show now. All the things that we've been working on for so many months has got to show in these moments. And we got a tough group of guys. We really do. They're mentally tough. They fought through today, and you got to be willing to sacrifice. We play a sport of sacrifice, and when it's played the right way, you can see it. And so, I thought our kids did a lot of that today, and I was proud of them for it.
Is it easier to preach toughness as a mentality with the team when you have your stars really buying into that?
Yeah, it really is, and it's easier when they're healthy too. And I got to say that. I mean, Torrey Horton is one of the toughest guys we got. I mean, he's been in several games where he hasn't been 100%, and you just can't keep him on the bench. I mean, he came back today. Avery Morrill came back today. Jack Howell's been hurt. He came back. I mean, we have a lot of guys that have been banged up, and people don't like to hear it, but we play a sport that, you got to bleed to win. There's a lot of guys limping in that locker room and that are sore and tired and beat up, but they sacrifice for their teammates to win, and that's the most important thing.
How encouraging was it to see Armani Winfield have this type of performance?
That was huge.
4 catches on third down.
I was so proud of him, and that last touchdown was just huge. It was absolutely huge and big for that kid, you know, and for him to have his first 100-yard game today was important. You know, especially with Torrey's, you know, Torrey's had a hot start and then he got hurt, and for Armani to pick up the slack in the second half was huge.
Last year, it kind of felt like you guys had someone opposite of Torrey Horton who could go on those big games. Do you feel like Armani's kind of stepping into that number 2 like role?
Yeah, I'm really proud of his progress, and Jamari Person, same thing. He's been making plays for us, and you know we need those guys. You know, Caleb Goody, we need to step up. You know, Jordan Ross has been playing more. Those are talented guys that just have to earn their confidence in games, and we got to keep putting them in those situations so they can learn. And but I think we got some confidence today, and I think it'll help us next week.
It seemed you had more of a balanced approach or a balanced outlook from the start, throwing more on first and second down than you have maybe in the past. Is that partially why maybe Braden found a rhythm quicker?
I mean, we're constantly probing for the right mix, and you know our opponent dictates that too. You know what we're seeing and what we think we can attack, but. You know, and we're mindful. I mean, we're playing against good coaches. I mean, Odom's a good defense coordinator. We've been playing. He was the first guy I saw walking on the field, and I walked over and I said, I was really hoping you'd get out of this league because I don't want to play against him anymore. But he's a good coach, and they make things hard for you, and they blitzed, and we were playing cat and mouse most of the day. But yeah, it's you know we need to keep complimenting what we do and keeping people off balance, and Braden did a good job of that today.
What did it say? Was it mean to have guys, you know, like Winfield, like Dupree, you know, step up when you did have all those injuries? You had some bad new guys.
No, I told the team. I mean, we have a team. You know, we've been working hard to have a team, and we just don't have a few guys that play good. We had a lot of guys play hard today and play well, and. You know, the field goal by Jordan Noyes was huge. You know, I was getting ready to punt, and the kid said he could make it. And, you know, and the first time he lined up, he kicked the practice one. He kicked right through. And so he's got a lot of confidence, and I was really proud that he made that kick. And, you know, and some kids, when you're around them long enough, you really trust them if they have conviction, and he did. And I'm glad I trusted him.
How rare is that for you as a coach in your career? I mean, you don't see a lot of college kickers dropping a 58-yard.
Yeah, I haven't had many that far. But Jordan, you know, he kicked a long one. I'm not sure how far it was against UNLV last year. He had a huge kick in the snow last year against Air Force, which was really difficult. So he's made some tough kicks, and I have a lot of confidence in him.
You had obviously the bad end of the first half with the fumble. How big was it for the defense to come back and get stopped to start the third quarter?
Big.
Make sure it didn't slide?
You know, we talk about having an explosion in the first and third quarters. We want to come out fast and hot, and we did a good job on offense coming out today on the first drive. But the first drive in the third quarter when our defense stopped was really big.
What did you like about? Sorry, I didn't interrupt.
That's
what
all
did you like about Morrow's game today after bounce back from the fumble and that injury?
His toughness. You know, I just told him he's, you know, it takes a lot to break him, and he's been through a lot. And, you know, he came off the injury, he had the fumble. You know, the fumble kind of took the wind out of everybody's sails, and I could feel it. And, you know, I just reminded him that we talked about this before the game, that we have to handle adversity. And when it strikes, we have to be strong enough to push through. And we want to be a team that doesn't look at the scoreboard. We just want to play plays and continue to play hard and not worry about the outcome. And if we do that, good things got a chance to happen to us. So that was a great example of that today.
What
is Torrey's injury?
I'm sorry?
Torrey's injury, what actually?
He got his knee banged up, and so they're taking a look at him. He's got to get an MRI, and so hopefully it won't be too sore on him, and he'll be able to come back.
What does it tell you about your defense? They didn't do it the easy way. You have no sacks. You didn't get the turnover till late, yet you only gave 17 points to that offense.
No, it's a good job by our defense, and you know, I felt this at the beginning of the year. You know, we don't have a guy like Mo Camara, and so it's got to be by committee. And you know, we got to have discipline, relentless pass rush. We may not get the sacks that we got, but we got to get pressure, and we got we got to make it hard for the quarterbacks. And so, we're continuing to do that. We're getting different mixes of people in there. The guys are maturing every week, and it's got to be a combination of good pass rush and coverage. And as long as we can keep the points down and we can score, we got a chance to win every week.
So you said that this wasn't exactly a new season, but the start of conference was kind of like a refresher.
It's a new beginning, yes. And it's an important part because we play all year for the conference games, and we were the last team to play a conference game, so it was important for us to start off strong. And now we're 6 games in. It's crazy how fast the season's going, but we have to grow and build on our performance. And I told our guys we got to be like lions. I mean, we gotta come out on Saturday and we gotta hunt, and we gotta play with great effort, and then we gotta get refreshed during the week, and then when it's game time again, we gotta go hunt, and that's just the way it's got to be. And that mentality has got to live in us, and we'll get another big challenge next week.
Do you have any update on Newer Gakuth or Justin?
Yeah, Newer had a little setback on that foot injury that he had, and he couldn't really practice this week. So it's one of those nagging ligament deals in your foot. And who was the other one?
Justin Marshall.
Yeah, I don't have an update on Justin either. I know he got banged up, I just think it's a tribute to our backs. I mean, the guys that have stepped up, Avery stepped up, and Dupree stepped up today, and so it's good to have depth. I mean, we didn't have this a year ago, so that's an improvement.
What does it tell you about a kid like Jalen, these are his first career college carries? Week 6, he's ready to go and ready to contribute.
The kid's a player, he's a competitor, and he came here to play. And I tell all these freshmen, guys, we brought you here to play. We didn't bring you here to sit on the bench. And so he's prepared himself. He stayed ready. I go shake everybody's hand before the game, and he's always studying. He's always studying his plays, and I take notice of that. And so he's got a bright future. He's going to be a really good back for us.
How does the
Coach,
team
you touched-
plan to utilize the freshman Dupree more?
Pardon me?
How does the team plan to utilize the freshman Dupree more?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to continue to use him. He did a good job today. We're going to use him on special teams, and he's proven that he's ready to play when he gets his opportunity.
Coach, you touched on this briefly, but near the end of the first half, Torrey gets hurt on one play. The very next play is the fumble play. And you said it took the wind out of your sails. Did you address that much at halftime and say, guys, let's just go back to what we're doing, or can you share with us?
Absolutely addressed it. I actually addressed it before the game, that we challenged our guys. We play a sport of adversity and momentum, and I challenged them. What does it take to break you as a player? Is it one bad play? Is it a fumble? Is it somebody throwing a touchdown on you? I mean, we play a series of plays in a game, and you have to be able to come back when negative things happen. And the only thing that matters is the play that you're doing at that time. And so we tried to get our guys recentered and refocused, and it was important. And I thought we responded well. When we came back in the third quarter, our defense stopped them, and we went on some long drives offensively. And I don't know what the time of possession was, but we had a couple long drives. I know the one we went ahead, I think, was 90-something yards, 91 yards. So that's a real credit to a lot of people executing. And so I'll give our guys some credit for that. Thanks, guys.